compares favorably to the new trade agreement.
What used to be something out of Hollywood movies can now be done by almost anyone in a matter of hours.
It's like plug and play almost.
3D printed guns and parts are showing up across America.
Just this year alone, we've seen an uptick of about 20%.
Earl Griffith is the ATF's technology chief, coming to Louisville to train local law enforcement on the gun printing technology.
This was 3D printed?
3D printed. What do you think of that?
I would never be able to tell.
The technology does take some skill and patience, using plastic filaments loaded into the printer.
It's less than $200. You can buy
Wow.
this. There's a SIM card that just plugs into it. It starts from the bottom and it builds it up, so it's adding.
It's legal in the U.S. to make your own gun with some limitations. You still have to legally be able to possess a gun in the first place. And then there's the Undetectable Firearms Act, which requires they have a metal component. But most gun parts, like the slides and barrels, are not regulated or tracked by the ATF. Neither are the SIM cards that tell the 3D printers what to do.
If we don't have a serial number, if we don't have markings, then it's very difficult to determine the origin or source of that gun, and that creates challenges for our investigators.
Sean Morrow is the ATF's special agent in charge for the agency's Louisville division. He says they found about 20 3D printed guns here this past year in criminal investigations, a few at violent crime scenes.
They're out there. We see them. We've had a few cases that involve gang members and some violent criminals.
In Louisville, he says, there are so many guns on the street that it's still cheaper to buy one than to make one. That's not what the ATF is seeing in other states with more stringent gun laws.
For instance, in California, that report in the last year, anywhere between 20 and 40% of the firearms that are taken into police custody were privately made.
There's a much smaller piece that the ATF does worry about, which they are finding more and more of. And there's nothing legal about this.
Just that little part.
This little part. So this is a machine gun by federal law.
They're called conversion devices, which can be dropped into a firearm in seconds.
Like this. And then you close it up and you push your button, and now that just converts this semi-automatic rifle into a machine gun.
The training included how to spot these tiny illegal parts.
20-some cents worth of material to make that. And that can be made in less than 40 minutes.
No longer a matter of fiction, but a fact the ATF is trying to keep an eye on.
We want to stay ahead of it.
Natalia Martinez, Wave News.